So welcome to today's session. So we have been going through the Emacs manual and we finished the mini buffer in the last session. So we're using emacsdocs.org. We paste the link in the chat. And you covered quite a bit, and today we're going to start with the running commands by name and then also start with the help section. So just follow along. Again, I've started the screen key, so you will be able to see the keys that I'm typing on the top. Okay. So every Emacs command has a name that you can use to run it. For convenience, many commands also have key bindings. So we already seen the example of alt-x. So I've opened Emacs without X11 here. So I can do alt-x forward character enter, right? So the key has gone from W to E here, right? Because I can also use Control F, or I can do alt-x forward tab, right? If I press C, enter, it basically completes to forward character, that is Control F, right? So when alt-x completes on commands, it ignores the commands that are obsolete. So obsolete commands are those which have newer, better alternatives and which are slated for removal in some future Emacs releases. Of course, you can anytime you can press Ctrl G to cancel and not run a command. So for example, if you go back and say alt-x forward and then I press Ctrl G, I'm cancelling the command and it goes back to the main buffer here. So these are all like commands that we've already seen, and of course they are also applicable here. Now you can pass a numeric argument. So we've seen that earlier. You can use Control U. So let's try this example here. Control U 42 alt-x forward character. So I am in W here. Say Control U 42 alt-x forward character. It goes to 42 characters forward, right? So if the command has a key binding, Emacs will mention this in the echo area. So let's try this again. If I do alt-x forward character and you look at the echo area, it says you can run the command with Control F. Okay, it vanishes after 2 seconds, which is the default value. And if you don't want, you can set the variables such as key bindings to nil. What this will do is it will not echo these suggestions to you, but it's nice to have those displayed in case you want to remember and use them again and again. Now the value of the suggest key bindings can also be a number. So the number denotes the number of seconds it will show in the echo area. The default value is 2 seconds. So Emacs mentions such shorthands in the echo area if they are significantly shorter than the full command name. And of course, this also has the impact on the extended command suggest shorter value to be true. The alt-x actually refers to the command execute extended command. So for example, if I go to Emacs, I say alt-x, I say execute extended command, it will basically prompt me for the command to be executed, right. So, that is what it is actually mapped to. So, we already seen this example of Altex. Most of the shortcuts mnemonics are very easy to remember, so you don't need to memorize anything, but as you use it you will be able to get a feel of it. Alright, let us move on to the help section. Now, Emacs provides a wide variety of help commands. All are accessible using the prefix key Control H, or you can also use the function key F1. Now, you can always type Control H to view a list of help commands which is mapped to help for help. So, let us try that. So, I am going to say Control H. So, it gives me a list of help options here. I can scroll with Control V, Alt V to scroll back. Alt V is not defined here. So, you can type space or del to scroll and hit enter on the hyperlinks. Let us try that. Control H, space to scroll, del is backspace, but goes back. Yes, that works. Now, many help commands display their information in a special help buffer. So, if you are looking for a certain feature, but you don't know what it is called or where to look for, there are 3 methods available to you in Emacs. First is to try the apropos command, then you can search for the manual index, and then you can look in the FAQ and package keywords. So, let us try that here. Control H, apropos, topics, enter. So, I do not have any match here for topics. Now, this argument, it can be a keyword, a list, or keywords, or a regular expression. So, we will look at apropos a bit later, but you can also search for topics in the indices of the Emacs info manual. So, let me try this here. Control H, I, D, M, menu item, Emacs, enter, I, topic, enter. So, it says I found in the Emacs manual reading topics, there are 4 total have been found here. Okay. Now, similarly you can do this, but it will search for the text in the manual. Right. I am just pressing Q to quit this one here. So, I say Control H, info, D, directory, menu item, Emacs, enter. Yes, search for topic, enter. Again it searches for the topic in the text of the manual. Now, you can also display the Emacs FAQ using info, which is Control H, Control F. Right? This opens the Emacs FAQ. You can read it in the Emacs window itself. If you want to see the available Emacs packages, extensions that are available, you can use Control H, P. Okay. These are some of the packages that are there by default, but later on we will see how to install more packages. Now, for apropos example, we could try buffer, for example. Control H, A, buffer. It gives me some entries for buffer documentation. Alright. So, the Control H or F1 means help in various other contexts. You can type them after a prefix key to view a list of keys that can follow the prefix key. You can also use question mark. Now a few prefix keys don't support control H or question mark in this way because they define other meanings for those inputs, but most of them will support use of F1. For example, if I do alt text question mark, it tells me that in this buffer we have the following completion options. Okay, let's go to the help summary and we'll go through each one of these sections one by one. So if you want to display a list of commands whose names matches topics, this is the a propose command. So let's do control H a topics, enter. There's no match here. I can do control H a say buffer, that gives me some documentation for buffer here. Now if I want to display all the active key bindings, okay, so the minor mode bindings are listed first and then the major mode and then finally the global bindings. So these are mapped to the described bindings function. So let's try that. Control H D, right? So it displays all the bindings in this buffer. Okay. There's a major mode bindings and then there are global bindings. Good. Now if you want to show the name of the command that a particular key sequence is bound to, so basically describe the key briefly, right? So we have to use control H C and the key. So I'm going to say control H C. Let's say I do control P. So this says control P runs the command previous line in the echo area, right? Or I can do control H C alt X. It says alt X runs the command execute extended command. Okay. So if you want to find what the name of the command for the key is, you can use this. Now C stands for character here. Okay. Now if you want to display the commands and variables for a documentation match, in this case topics, we can do control H D topics, enter. So it basically searches the full documentation, returns wherever we find topics. Or if you want to display the messages buffer, so as you can see everything starts with control H, right? So I do control H E, it shows me the messages buffer here, this one, right? I'm just highlighting this here. Right. This is also the view echo area messages. That's where it's mapped to. Now if you want to display the documentation on the exact list function, right, because commands are also list functions, this will also work on commands too. So you have to use control H F. Let's give a function, let's say autofill mode, which you've seen before, hit enter. So this tells us that autofill mode is an interactive compile list function in simple.el. These are optional arguments. It was introduced at or before Emacs 19.29. will toggle automatic line breaking, and there's some more description on its behavior. Okay. That's control HF and function. Now You can display the hello file, shows examples of various character sets. Oh no, I am in the console environment. Let me open the X11 one, right? Just enlarging the font size here. So if I hit Control H, it shows me all the examples of character sets that are supported. So we have European languages, Middle East, South Asia, East Asia, CJK, the Chinese, Japanese, Korean variants, Unicode and all this. So you can actually input these characters inside Emacs itself. Okay. Let me go back to the terminal version. And if you want to view the info, just the GNU documentation browser, you can hit Control HI, and there are a lot of manuals available which you can read offline. It is quite handy here. If you want to display the name and documentation of the command for the key, describe the key basically, right? So I can say Control H K, say Control P. So Control P, we know it stands for previous line. It's found in global map, which is an interactive compile list function in simple.el. It's bound to Control P or up. It takes optional arguments. This is for interactive use only. Okay. And there is some more description on its behavior and usage. Okay. If you want to display a description of your last 300 keystrokes, which is basically your view lossage. So let's try that. Control HL. So the last 300 keystrokes that I have used, not 300 but the previous strokes that we have seen so far. Now if you want to display the documentation of the current major and minor modes, so we just do describe mode here. So this will be Control HM. So this tells us that we have enabled these minor modes: auto composition, auto encryption, electric indent. Fundamental mode is simple.el. I can scroll down like in any other buffer. There's auto composition minor mode, auto compression minor mode, auto encryption minor mode, electric indent is a minor mode, and then we have file name shadow minor mode here, global LDoc, global font lock, as I scroll down there's more here, right? So this lists the current active modes that are in the session. Now if you want to get latest news on Emacs changes, just view-emacs news. You can do Control HN, which gives the history of user visible changes. This is for Emacs version 27, which I am currently using. Now you can use Control HO symbol to display documentation of a Lisp symbol. So this will show the documentation for all kinds of symbols like functions, variables and faces. So let's try Control HO, let's say describe function for example. So it tells us that describe function is interactive to compile Lisp in help fns.el Emacs Lisp file, and is bound to Control HF, or f1. It's called passes a function as an argument. It is there from 22.1 and so on. Now, if you want to find packages by keyword, which is finder by keyword, you can do Control HP. It lists the packages using a package mini buffer. So you have all of these current packages like calendar, docs, frames, games, hardware, and so on. When we learn Emacs Lisp, then you will be able to start writing your own Emacs packages as well. Now, if you want to display the documentation for a specific package, you can use Control H, capital P, and the name of the package. So, for example, Control H, capital P, let's say calendar, enter. So, this says calendar is built in, it's got calendar functions, calendar view generates the calendar for current month, previous months, and so on. So, for example, I can do alt text calendar. It tells me the current date. Today is April 19th, 2024. Right. Now, if you want to display the Emacs manual, you can do Control H R. Right. All the manual entries are here. If you want to display the contents of the current syntax table, the syntax table says which characters are opening delimiters, which are part of the words, and so on. This we'll learn more in the Emacs list reference manual. So you have to use Control H S to see the symbol table definition here. So what refers to punctuation, white space, and all those definitions are given here. I think you should be able to see this in the X11 output. Let's try Control H S. Zoom this. Yeah, see all those Unicode characters resolve here. Okay. Now there is the built-in tutorial for Emacs, so you can start that using Control HT, which is the interactive tutorial. Since we are actually going through the manual, we are not actually going through the tutorial. But if you want to try this out, it's quite self-explanatory. You can go through this. It talks about Control V, Control F, Alt V, and so on, right? But since we are going through the manual, I'm going to skip this one here. You have to press Control X K to kill the manual. Now it does prompt you to save your position in case you want to come back to the tutorial, you want to try it later on, right? So you can actually save your position in the tutorial. I'm just going to say no here. Now you can display the documentation of the Lisp variable using Control HV. Let's try an example here. Control HV. We've already seen the suggest key bindings variable, right? It basically has the value to prompt for the command shortcut for 2 seconds. So here it says suggest key bindings is a variable defined in simple.el. You can customize this variable when it was introduced and some documentation on its usage, right? Good. Now Control H W command, this shows which keys run the command named command. So let's say I want to find for the help with tutorial command, Control H W help with tutorial, right? So this says help with tutorial is on Control HT, which we already know, we've learnt it today. So it tells us that that's the command that is used to start the interactive tutorial. You can describe the coding system using Control H capital C coding. Control H capital C let's say UTF-8 and hit enter. It tells me the alias, signature, automatic selection. It uses the Unicode character set. Now we can also ask for the current coding systems that are in use in this session. So I can say Control H capital C, enter, and there's a lot of systems available here: ISO, Latin, One, Unix. The priority, you start with ISO, Latin, then UTF-8 and so on. Right. Okay. Now if you want to go to a specific node in the info, you can use Control H F. Let's say that we want to go to apropos, enter. Here I don't have the reference, but it will go to the corresponding node in the info manual. Let's say that you've been reading a specific section in the manual and you want to, you remember the name and you want to go back to it. That is possible. Now you can ask for the input method using Control H I. So let's quit this one. Control H I, describe input method. Say I want to see Dutch. Let's use the X11 one, so we can see the characters. Control H I, Dutch, right? So all the acute, grave, all those values, the accent variables, all that are shown here, the input method. Now you can enter and go to the node documents. So there is also Control H K key, this one here. Control H K, find documentation for a key, say Control P, it goes to the info directory. Here I don't have it referenced here, but that's the info go to Emacs key command node. Now you can display information on the character sets, coding systems, input methods used in the language environment. So let's try Control H capital L, which is going to give the default one. So I am using Dvorak keyboard layout, so that's why it's showing me as Dvorak here. ASCII, no specific coding set, and it's sample text here. Okay. Now I could ask for, say, Control H L, let's say Tamil, and here it tells me the input methods available. So this Tamil Dvorak is what I had contributed to earlier to the Emacs input method, the Unicode and UTF coding system. Now we can ask information on a particular symbol according to the programming language that you are editing. We have not gone through customization yet, but something we can look at later. But this is mapped to info lookup symbol. And finally, of course, you can use Control H dot on a special text area if there is something command or something that you want to quickly refer to, you can actually use that to get help. On a specific area, text area. So we are almost reaching the 30-minute mark here. So in the next session we will try to complete this help. So there are some more sections here on going more deeper into all of these commands, like the apropos commands, more options in language support, help files and so on. So we will try to cover those. Let me paste the link to the YouTube channel where I will make this recording available, so that you can review this and try it out, and feel free to let me know if you have any questions or comments or feedbacks on this. The timing is good. Do you want to try a different timing? I'm still experimenting. I would like to keep it short to 30 to 45 minutes, so that is good for YouTube watching as well. But do let me know if you have any questions. So the Twitch repo for today's notes are there on is a emacs.org file, so you should be able to go to the notes for this specific section, and of course I'll make the videos available of the recording, so that you can watch it asynchronously as well. So let's stop here, and we will resume and complete the help section in the next stream. Thanks for joining in. Have a good rest of the day. Take care.